Come on, let's give the Lord a hand praise. You want to tell your neighbor he's been so good to me. With the time that we have, I just want to again want to thank the Lord for this worship experience. And every now and then you want to, wherever you are, you want to give him praise. Isn't that right? Glory, hallelujah. This last day of 2018, asked the Lord, I said, Lord, I want to say something to encourage, as always, the people of God, because we need encouragement. Isn't that right? Thank God we serve a God who is faithful and loving, that no matter what we go through or what we endure, the Lord is with us. Lord led me to Psalm 144, and I want to read one verse from that 144th Psalm. It says, "There happy is that people whose God is the Lord." Happy is that people whose God is the Lord. How to have happiness in the middle of a worldly mess. As messed up as this world is, we can have joy and happiness in the Lord. Anybody here know that tonight? I heard testimonies tonight as to how, in spite of everything that we have gone through and what we are dealing with, the Lord somehow comes into our worship experience and we can praise his name. We live in this world that has become so complex, and this world is filled with everything but happiness. Technology and all of these things that they discovered and the things that they're doing, the world cannot bring us happiness. Has nothing to do with our joy. Just listen to the news any time of the day. When you turn that television on, and you may read the paper, and you will realize that most of them, regardless of the network or the paper, they speak of suffering and violence and problems, crime, difficulties everywhere, fear, greed, heartache, disease, misery, oppression, pain, remorse, accidents, and death. So no wonder when we see and when we hear and when we are exposed to so much that is going on in a world that has gone crazy, no wonder there is so much fear and despondency throughout the land. We are in a state of low spirit. That is why when I come into the church, when I come here, I come for an uplifting in my spirit. We need that, because the devil will try to keep us depressed and down. But when I come in the church, I know every time when my mind is made up to even get here, the devil is already getting upset. Because he'll do whatever he feels is possible to keep us from not only coming here, but opening our mouths and lifting holy hands and giving the Lord praise. Have I got a witness here? That we've learned how to, in spite of everything, we've learned how to open our mouths, and we've learned to get our breakthrough through our praise. Most people would rather complain and grumble and feel sorry for themselves rather than to rejoice, holding on to your faith in the Lord. Don't let anything pull you away from your faith in the Lord. Most people, when you look around, you can see that they're unhappy about their job situation, unhappy about their home atmosphere, unhappy about their income bracket, unhappy about their physical appearance, unhappy about their personal relationships, and as a result, they're just not happy, heavy in spirit. And when you talk with most people these days, they have a tendency to complain even about the weather, fuss about the government and who's currently in the office. Most people you talk with feel like they have this past year that we're saying goodbye to tonight, 2018. If you would hear them talk about this past year, they've been mistreated, they've been deceived, lied on, falsely accused. People will tell you how they've been neglected and unappreciated and grossly misunderstood. And as a result, they are not happy about their current social designation. There is so little evidence these days with all of this at a touch of a button, and all of the creature comforts that they have and cell phones and all of the things that are available for our comfort. There's little evidence of happiness or contentment or even satisfaction. So it is only logical that many could ask the question, can happiness be a reality? And if so, then can you tell us, where can we find it? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'm here tonight to testify to the fact that yes, happiness is a reality. And yes, it is available to everyone. The Bible informs us in our text, says that happy is that people whose God is the Lord. And I personally discovered that God has always given us a reason and a cause to be happy. Even when you are in an unhappy situation, because happiness is not caused by your situation, but by knowing that the Lord, whatever it is, can work it out. That God has a way of turning your situation around for your good. That when you, how could you ever tell anyone that the Lord can provide food when you're hungry and you've never been hungry? God would give you I wish I had somebody here. I know we were in church yesterday, and I'm trying to conclude 2018. But look, when you look and see what God has brought you through, God can turn pain into purpose. He can turn that mourning into a dance. I wish I had somebody here. And it hasn't always been easy. It has not always been a good report. But even when we were at our lowest point, that no matter where we were, the Lord was right there with us. And I always like to say that the Lord is with us even in our pain, because when you come out, we're going to come out better than what we were before we went in. And we have testimonies around here as to what God has done, what God is doing. And I can't say it enough. If it had not been for the Lord, who would thank God for the job, thank God for family, thank God for friends. But if it had not been for the Lord that was by your side, we made our way out in the rain. Here it is. It's already 11:33 on a Monday night, but here we are. We're here tonight to honor the Lord and thank him for what he's already done. 2018 is behind us, but thank God, we know the same God that brought us through 2018 is the same God. It's going to carry us into 2019. I'm happy. I have joy knowing that, listen, it is a joy, it is an honor to magnify the Lord. It is a joy and an honor for me to say, yes, he's been a bridge over troubled water. Yes, he's been a doctor in the sick room. Yes, I've had some uphill journeys. I had some valleys that I had to walk through, so I'm happy today because I know the Lord made a way. Listen, lack of victory in the spiritual battle reflects a lack of understanding of our divine resource. Every child of God has problems, ain't no doubt, but it's the inability to move beyond the problem, the inability to get past the failure that keeps us in our despondency. Joy and happiness is found in our dependency on God. Not a sign, not any kind of, it's not Gucci. No, it is not Lord and Taylor. It's not Michael Kors. Those are only labels which bring more debt than happiness. There's a story that was told, and I want to share with you, a farmer who was constantly having his watermelons stolen by thieves. So the farmer came up with a brilliant idea to prevent further loss. He poisoned one watermelon. Then he put a sign in the watermelon field that read, "Warning, one of these watermelons have been poisoned." The next day, the farmer went out to find that none of his melons had been stolen because the thieves didn't know which one was poisoned. Amen. He was quite satisfied that his idea of putting up that sign had worked and that he would not have that problem and worry about those thieves anymore. But the next day, the farmer came out to his field to find that someone had scratched through his sign and changed the wording to say, "2 of these melons have been poisoned." The farmer had to destroy his whole crop because now he didn't know which other melon had been poisoned. And I want to tell you, that is what it's like when we deal with the devil. No matter what you come up with, no matter what I come up with, he can come up with something better. All right. Is there a witness here? No matter what sign you put up or even on, he can change the wording. Amen. But, and this is where the praise comes in, but when Jesus is the source of your happiness, I wish I had, listen, labels and signs don't matter. I don't care whether you have Gucci on or Lord and Taylor. I don't care what you have on, it's what's on the inside. I wish I had. I can praise God in flip-flops. I can praise God early in the morning before I get dressed. It's something on the inside that causes a praise to come out on the outside. We're here tonight in spite of all the mess and troubles of this world. I'm just here to tell you I'm happy with Jesus alone. Anybody here just happy with Jesus alone? Yeah, I appreciate all of the things that I have, but when I think of the goodness of Jesus, I know somebody here is with me here in this. I'm happy with Jesus alone. Not on the amount of money that I have in the bank, but in spite of even the fact if I have to drive a hoopty, if I live in poor conditions, no labels in my clothes. I don't care what the doctor says because I know that the Lord has the last word. All right. Listen here. Listen. I want to tell you that there's been a whole lot that we had to deal with last year. But regardless of what we've been through, God made a way. I knew you were going to sit on me with this, but I'm going to preach it anyway. There are witnesses all over this church that when you put it in the Lord's hands, when you learn that whatever you're going through, you can turn it over to the Lord. Is there a witness in here tonight? Because here we are, giving God praise one more time. We could have been dead. We could have been cut off. But here we are. Here we are with our minds made up. Here we are with the blood running warm in our veins. Here we are with our mind set on the Lord. We know that it wasn't our money, that it wasn't even our name, but Jesus, He made a way. And I'm glad tonight to let you know the reason that you're here is because God blocked it. The devil had you in his crosshairs. The devil tried to trip you up, tried to fool your mind. He tried to tell you that you have no reason to wave your hands, to open up your mouth. But I'm so glad to let you know tonight that the devil is a liar, because I'm blessed and highly favored. Now I got a witness. He's been so good, so good, not just tonight, but so good. Last Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, yesterday, all day today. And you want to tell you that He's good right now. For I feel Him in my hands. I feel Him in my feet. I feel Him all over. Is He all right? Is He all right? You got to have faith in God. Not your money, but God. Not your name, but God. Not your neighbor, but God. Ain't He all right? For God will make a difference in your life. The Lord will give you happiness and joy in your midnight hour. But when you feel like opening your mouth and telling the Lord, trouble is everywhere. Trouble in front, trouble in the back. And I'm so glad that the God we serve is a sovereign God. Ain't He all right? Ain't He all right? I looked to my right, couldn't find help there. I looked to my left, couldn't find anything there. I turned all the way and turned behind. There was nobody there. But when I looked to the hills from which coming my help, when I kept my arms on God and God alone, began to well up way down on the inside. So you ought to remember that it was God that made a way and a no way. Ain't He all right? Ain't He all right? Ain't He all right? You want to look at your neighbor and tell a neighbor, I'm so glad that the Lord made a way out of no way. So you want to open your mouth and tell Him thank you.
Thank you.
Tell Him thank you.
Thank you.
Tell Him thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for my life. Thank you for watching over me. Thank you for protecting me. Thank you when nobody else would come to my aid. The Lord was right there by my side. He gave me joy in the midnight hour. He gave me happiness when I didn't have a reason. For I know that the Lord will make a way out of no way. But listen here. Psalm 44, 144 says, I will sing a new song unto thee, O God, upon the psaltery and on the instrument of the 10 strings will I sing praises unto thee. And our son made me a plant grown in their youth, and our daughters made me a cornerstone, and our barns will be filled with crops of every kind. May our cattle reproduce plentifully. May there be no crisis or distress in the streets. Happy is that person that is in such a case. Yea, happy is that person whose God is the Lord. So in 2018, no problem, no cross, no enemy, no problem, no rough road, no opposition, no fear, no doubt, no grief, no heart, no hardship can stop me from celebrating here tonight. For He's been so good, so good, so good, so good. I'm persuaded that neither death, no life, no angels, no principalities, no powers, nothing present, no things to come, no height, no depth, no living creatures shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus. Is he all right? Is he all right? Is he all right? He's worthy. He's worthy. Glory. Glory. No, 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 no. Listen, I want you to go to your neighbor, tell a neighbor, I have joy, joy, altar. I gotta tell you, I thank God for the Lord. I thank God for all He's done. And every time I think about where He brought me from,